Over that.
Real quick, we're going to get back to the Lakers in just a second, but we have some breaking news. Our Adrian Woj reporting that the Warriors are waiving Chris Paul, who had a $30 million guarantee date here. Welcoming back in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Woj. Now, Woj, what does this mean for the Warriors and their strategy moving forward here?
Malika, this was certainly expected. The Warriors were not bringing back Chris Paul on a $30 million deal at this point in his career, but they had moved the date back from Friday till today to see if they could find a way to maybe use that contract in a trade. And I think if somebody else had taken it on, they would have done the same thing and gotten the money off. Now, for Chris Paul, he becomes an unrestricted free agent. And at a much lower number, there'll be a lot of interest in Chris Paul. He is still can be an impactful player, even at his age, but it wasn't going to be $30 million. And now for the Warriors, listen, they were always projecting themselves in free agency without that salary on their cap. Listen, the Warriors are preparing to work with other teams on possible Klay Thompson sign-in trades, whether it's the Lakers, the Dallas Mavericks. You know, those are all conversations that the Warriors now may start having. Okay, Woj, thank you very much. We'll be back with you in just a minute. Zach, now that the Warriors, as Woj reported, have waived Chris Paul, where do they go next?
Well, they turned a $30 million salary slot into nothing, and there's a roadmap now financially. Bobby can correct us if we're wrong. He's got numbers in front of him. To a reunion with Klay Thompson, because the financial penalties for doing that would not be as onerous as they would have been if you have Chris Paul at $30 million or you manage to trade that contract for a salary slot coming in, which they tried to do, couldn't do. So that was my first thought. Is we've been sitting here pondering the end of the Splash Brothers, the end of a dynasty, the end of this historic partnership, the end of a Bay Area legend. Maybe there is a path, or maybe it's just the bridge is too far burned and we will see a sign and trade. But they've got now more space to fill on a team that is still trying to win around Steph.
Doors are closed. Trying to trade for Paul George before he opted out of his contract yesterday. Once he opted out, that became very unlikely. They were trying to trade Chris Paul over the last few days to get a piece that they could add to their roster. That door is now closed. And the relationship with Klay Thompson is in very bad shape. I would not say it's over until Klay signs elsewhere and is officially announced, but I would say very unlikely that he is retained. And even finding a sign and trade for him will be a challenge. It is certainly not a guarantee, so that door could end up closing as well.
Well, and I think Klay struggles this year. This contract weighed heavily. I think he looked at, yes, they gave me in my contract, but I also helped give them 4 championships and all the things that I have done. And so when that tax number and everything that they were talking about, how much tax money they were going to have to pay, well, now that Chris Paul's off, so now Klay's looking at him like, okay, so you guys have more money now. You have more money now that you can give one of your guys so he can put, you know, he can retire here, he can do all things. You will give me my money. So my thing is this, if Chris Paul's off and they do have some more wiggle room to work with for Klay and they say no, then it's over. It's over. If they say no, even with more space, then it's over, because that's what the conversation is going to be had right now. Is like,
this is about more than money. There's more than money.
Oh, there's feelings hurt. There's feelings involved.
And y'all just want to keep hope alive. Why? I've been telling y'all since February, this relationship is over with, and it's okay. It's okay. I just hate that it got to this point, because I don't feel like Klay is ever going to wear a Warriors jersey again, right? I hate that it got to this point, because it could have just went from, you know, separation to now it's an ugly divorce. Like, when you talk about deleting social media, when you talk about, like, the tension now, like, Klay is literally wanting to go somewhere else in the same conference to prove that he still got it, and he feel disrespected. Just think about it. Whether we think he deserve it or not, Klay Thompson has watched Andrew Wiggins get $100+ million. He watched Jordan Poole get $100+ million. He watched Draymond Green get $100+ million. I mean, it's no putting no bandage over this wound.
Okay, so now that we're talking about potential sign-in trades, as Woj also mentioned, which is a door that is still cracked here for Klay Thompson, I want to bring Bobby Marks back into the conversation. So, Bobby, what are the Warriors looking at here? Make the numbers work for us.
Yeah, I mean, Malika, they're over the salary cap. Salary cap's 141. We just waived Chris Paul off the touchscreen right now. They can go out and sign a player to the $12.8 million non-tax mid-level exception. So you're looking at players like Gary Trent or DeAnthony Melton. What you probably want to do, if Klay Thompson's not coming back, you want to do a sign and trade. You want to sign and trade him, maybe a team like Dallas, certainly, and create a big trade exception. That would allow you to acquire a player with the exception and also use that $12.8 million. The one thing you see here that we haven't seen in about 7 years, luxury tax, none. And I'm not projecting the Warriors to be in the tax based off waiving Chris Paul.
Okay, thank you, Bobby. Before we go to break, I want to bring in our reporter covering the Lakers, Dave McMenamin, because another team that Woj mentioned that is still in the conversation here for Klay Thompson, if they decide on a sign and trade here, we're working on getting a camera over there. I'm hearing we're kind of moving cameras all around the studio, so we'll do that right. Well, how are we feeling now that we're less than 30 minutes away from free agency beginning?
I'm waiting for something to happen.
There's been things happening.
There's a lot of stuff
Literally the last couple of days.
So impatient.
What's been happening?
So impatient.
What's happening?
Yeah, we know this. Let's not wait any longer. Yeah, it really was. Let's welcome in, though, the busiest man in the business, our senior insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, we reported that LeBron James has opted out of his contract and became a free agent for the first time, essentially, since 2018. What exactly does this mean?
Well, it means, number one, that LeBron James plans to return to the Lakers. But the question is, what kind of a contract does he do moving forward? And what LeBron James has told the Lakers, according to our Dave McMenamin, who talked to Rich Paul about this, is essentially if the Lakers have a chance to get at maybe a couple of the impact players that are available in free agency with their mid-level exception, that LeBron James is willing to take less money on this deal, and it would be significantly less money, maybe upwards of $20 million, so that the Lakers could have their full mid-level exception. And that's why the Lakers are preparing pursuits now of Klay Thompson, Jonas Valanciunas, the center from New Orleans, who's another player in this free agency class who's a veteran who is accomplished. There's not a lot of them. And so for the Lakers, that is going to move fast in free agency. That those are players that I think ultimately are going to move off the board maybe as soon as the first night. So I think the Lakers, the rest of the league, will have some clarity on what that looks like. And if the Lakers can't land one of those players using that $13 million mid-level exception, then ultimately LeBron James takes his full max, which on a 3-year deal would be 3 years, $160 million plus.
And as Woj just said, we expect this to begin to move rather quickly here. Woj, please do not go too far, but I know you're a busy man. We'll let you get back to it. Perk, if LeBron does take a pay cut, which he has offered to do, according to our reporting, who should be the priority that they are targeting here? We're hearing Klay Thompson. We're hearing Jonas Valanciunas. Who do you have your eye on?
I like Klay. I love Klay for the Lakers. I mean, you think about it, right? When you think about AD and Bron, you need to surround them with shooters, right? Klay Thompson is at the stage of his career. It's not even about the two-way Klay Thompson that we seen when he was in his prime with Golden State. It's about catch and shoot Klay Thompson, getting the ball on time, on target, and what he would bring to the table for the Los Angeles Lakers, especially under their new coach in J.J. Redick, who I heard on plenty of occasions when he was, calling games, talking about